The Belgian Grand Prix is the last race before the traditional summer break, and McLaren could go into the hiatus as the form team in Formula One. They took pole and a 1-2 last time out in Hungary, and in second practice at Spa, they were once again in the top 2 spots on the timesheets. Oscar Piastri was the first to impress in this session. He went out on the soft tyres and immediately shot to the top of the order, despite a wild moment on his quick lap.
I just need to check the floor, turn into a skateboarder at turn 7. Copy.
But a few minutes later, Lando Norris bolted on another set of softs and knocked his teammate down to P2 with a lap 2 tenths quicker than the Australian. Max Verstappen was, as usual, leading the charge for Red Bull, but he couldn't quite match the McLarens and was just 2 thousandths of a second off Piastri's time. But even if the Dutchman grabs pole in Saturday's qualifying session, he won't be starting the race in the top half of the grid, thanks to a 10-place penalty he's incurred for changing his engine this weekend. Sergio Perez, meanwhile, was in P9 in FP2, but was keeping a close eye on rivals McLaren out on track.
Yeah, there's a lot of grounding for Norris into a Rouge. Copy.
The Ferraris were next up on the leaderboard with Charles Leclerc fourth, half a second down on Norris's benchmark, and Carlos Sainz a lonely P5, a further 3 tenths back.
Get a bit alone out there. Yeah, lonely.
Like McLaren, Mercedes are also on something of a roll after 2 wins and a P3 in the last 3 races, but they were flagging behind in FP2 here at Spa, with George Russell the lead car in P6 and Lewis Hamilton in 10th. Esteban Ocon was unable to set a lap time in first practice as he was confined to the garage with a suspected water leak. There was then more breaking news from Alpine at Spa as team principal Bruno Famin confirmed he'll be stepping down from the role next month as the Enstone squad gets set for another change at the top. Back on track, Ocon had a much better session and pumped in a time quick enough for P7, with teammate Pierre Gasly down in 15th as his parents watched on from the garage. Alex Albon was the star performer of first practice after going 3rd fastest, but he was back down in 17th in FP2, the Williams driver not impressed by the driving of one of his rivals on track. So Lando Norris was top of the pile, followed by Piastri and Verstappen. Leclerc was 4th ahead of Sainz, Russell and Ocon. Kevin Magnussen was 8th, followed by Perez and Hamilton in P10. Lance Stroll and Fernando Alonso were 11th and 12th respectively for Aston Martin, followed by Valtteri Bottas and Daniel Ricciardo. Gasly was next for Alpine, ahead of Nico Hülkenberg in the second Haas. Then it was Albon and Logan Sargent, with Zhou Guanyu and Yuki Tsunoda rounding out the order.